Hey everybody, and welcome to Pastrami Nation, the meat of pop culture. My name is Nolan Smith, and joining me today, of course, from Pastrami Nation is Eddie Aguirre.
Hello, everybody.
And we have a very special guest today. We have a renowned novelist, comic book writer, comic book company creator, and founder of Roth Comics. Please welcome JP Roth.
Yay! Welcome, JP.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. First of all, how are you doing? It's been an incredible year. 2020 has been just quite a year.
A tough one.
Yeah.
Been a tough one.
Yeah, it is. And so how have you been through this year so far?
I mean, it's been good. It's been really difficult. I interact a lot on social media, so I see a lot of the pain and what's been happening. Been quite actively involved with the protests from my space and from how I can do it from my platform. I've been sad. I'm not going to lie. I've been really sad about the whole situation. But hey, I think in the end, hopefully it's going to bring us a lot closer together, even with the coronavirus following all this unrest and really rightful unrest, in my opinion. And I think it's all going to have a way to bring us closer together in the end. So I'm hoping for good. But it has been a bit sad lately, I think.
Oh, yeah, it has been. Have you been quarantined quite a bit?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen other humans in months.
Oh, wow.
I'm not always the healthiest, so my family put me on lockdown. So I haven't left the house.
That's a good family.
Yeah, my son and Eric are taking good care of me, but it's been difficult, I think, even for my son staying home so much. I think it's hard for the kids who are used to all that social interaction. He's been climbing the walls. So it's been interesting finding new things to do. I'm quite a homebody myself, so I'm not going to say the quarantine affected me much. I don't really leave the house unless I have to go to a show, and then I come straight home. So I'm not really out and about very often. I do. I miss everyone so bad. I do. I miss talking with people and getting the reactions, and it's always nice to see the reactions of people at shows and the interaction. I think it really helps you as a comic creator be like, yes, we're doing the right thing. Now, you know, myself and my team, Mike Chrome, Dawn, Sabine, we're all just kind of taking it by faith that we're doing good. But, you know, it's a little different, I think, over social media, but it's still good. I mean, the reactions have been good. We've been trying to keep steady with the publishing. Diamond stopped publishing for a little while, and then a lot of the printing houses took a pause. So we have a lot of new stuff we've written, a lot of new stuff we've drawn. So when everything gets back up again, we're going to have a lot to put out. So that's great.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's been different.
Definitely. Now, for people who may not know very much about you, can you tell us about how you got started in, you know, the writing business, and who, or if anybody, encouraged you to get into writing?
Oh, yeah, it's a long story. I started by accident. I was always studying writing. I studied journalism and editorial. That was when I was young. I interned for the Mail and Guardian. I worked for the Times for a long time. I actually got into gaming writing and covering different, did you guys freeze? Do I still have you?
Did I freeze? I'm here.
Okay.
I see you. Yeah.
Make sure I didn't cut off. I got into game writing, and then I started working for TV and doing scripts. When I finished writing the novel of Ancient Dreams, I originally wrote it for Universal Studios. But once I realized what I had, and once they read over it, I had a wonderful guy there who told me, you know, you should really, he was very into comics himself, a big director there with the studio. And he told me, you know, there's a lot of potential to make this a cult classic. You could start it in comics and get that a crazy following, and then, you know, maybe do a novel, then do a game, and then by the time we hit film, hopefully it's able to grow. I was going to originally just do it with Ancient Dreams, which is Mike Chrome, Dawn, and Sabine, who worked on that. It kind of snowballed from there. I never wanted to be in comics. I knew nothing about comics. I loved comics. Like, I didn't know how to make them. I didn't know the layout or paneling or nothing. Dawn McTeague knew the most of all of us, honestly. She was the big fan. She was the one. always shoving Danger Girl at me and be like, make something like this, make something like this.
Danger Girl's amazing, yeah.
Yeah, it sure is. And she really told me, it was all Dawn's fault, really. She dragged me to all the artists. And then I met and fell in love with Ibas, Eric Basaldua. We've been together for almost, going on 8 years now, I think. And he really helped me. He's been in comics for 25 years. He started with Top Cow. So he has wealth of information, and he really helped us as well. It kind of just snowballed, and now we have, I don't even know, a couple million Rothic novels sold around the world. I stopped counting at around 400 covers of alternates and variations and stuff. We've sold to almost every country in the world. We have unexpected followings in Turkey and Germany, and just really strong fans of the series, people who've really found themselves in the writing. And I think that I just started making comics. Diamond kept turning me down. They said that my books are not comic books. They said there was too much writing in them, and that they were more like novels with pictures. But I told them that if I didn't sell X amount of books in the first month, I would buy them myself, and we would call it even. So after 4 years of banging down their doors, they got me in, and we sold 5 times what I said was the amount. We did amazing, unexpectedly amazing. And it kind of just went from there. I took about a year off last year because it was all supposed to be over a novel, and the novel wasn't published. So I had to finish getting the novel of Ancient Dreams done, and it's out everywhere now. It's book 1, and it's part of a trilogy. So book 2 is already written, and the rest is coming soon.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
Cool.
Starting with Ancient Dreams, I mean, you jumped into it and you hit it big. Just the artwork, and then reading the actual comic that goes along with it, it's incredible.
Thank you.
When I started reading it, I'm a big fan of Troy, the story of Troy, and you hit me like boom. I got really into it. I started reading it and started reading the next one. It's awesome. It's great.
Yeah, we have such an incredible team that helped work on it. Mike Crome, everybody actually, Don McTeague, Sabine Rich, and Mike Crome, they all work for free for a year on the first 2 books.
Wow.
Take any money at all, even helped with money toward getting it off the ground. And they were so supportive. And Mike and Don really worked together, and Sabine to help bring it to life. Sabine was like the last stop. She did all the colors and made sure all the pencils were perfect, because honestly, we didn't know what we were doing. We drew Ancient Dreams issue 1, the one you have with Kara Cross, the girl on the cross. Well, it's a sword, but we call it Kara Cross. We drew that on A4 paper with like an HB pencil that was like this fat and didn't work and broke all over the page. So we didn't know much about it. So it was really just the team.
Yeah, well, not knowing much about comic books, so it made you want to own your own comic book company.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that either. I never tried to do that. I just wanted to make a book. It all just kind of snowballed. There were so many orders that we had to turn into a production house, and we had to streamline it differently because we were just selling tens of thousands of books, and I didn't really know how to handle it. Straight out the gate, like straight from the first book, there was just an insane reaction to the comic series. I think a lot of people have a feeling about mythology. They really can get lost in it, and I'm such a lover of it. I try and really stick to the actual mythos so as not to completely lose people. Like, oh wait, why does Aphrodite have Thor's hammer? I love it when people play with it too, but I really tried to stick with it and just add my myths in through it, and I think people really liked that. So we're trying to do that even more with our new.
The passion in each book, the passion is incredible.
Yeah, well, that's my team.
And the power exchange is big also, yeah.
It's definitely also the story of a girl who starts out quite weak. She's quite scared. I think how probably a lot of women feel before they find their power, in a way, very unsure. She's very insecure. She's very scared of her own shadow, like to the point of it being almost annoying. And it's pretty much her finding her power. What do you have to go through to break to that point that takes you past yourself and brings you into, you know, somewhere that you can really shine and glow. And I think a lot of women liked my book because of that as well. And that got us a lot of fans that wouldn't have maybe normally latched on to a comic book. I always get the wives of the men who are buying from Eric.
Hey, that's awesome.
Always get that.
Cool.
No, I think it was.
I do understand that you're a very big fan of The Walking Dead.
I am.
So tell me first, what draws you to The Walking Dead, and also are there any other like shows or franchises that you're, you know, really into right now?
Well, I actually got to work a little bit with The Walking Dead in Georgia. Very off the books, but I got to really experience. I like the character studies. I'm all about character studies. I'm a huge reader. My Google Play library is like almost 40,000 books. It's ridiculous. I'm a massive reader. I read everything I can get my hands on. I just have books, you know, automatically come to me, the new book of whatever category. And I think that I love any kind of character development through adversity. I love putting people in the worst case scenario and deciding what will that person do. I think it's very current as well. You know, it's trying to decide what will someone do when pushed past their limits and what is right and wrong. And I really like that about The Walking Dead. It gets you, if you can understand, it puts all sides to the story. And, you know, like mythology is really neither dark nor light. There's really not much good or evil. It's really based on what the soul chooses to do with that power, whether they turn it to good or evil. And I love that about The Walking Dead. They do the best job. One day I want to write one whole comic for them. My favorite.
Oh, that would be cool.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, it would be.
I love George R. Martin's Game of Thrones. I was slightly bummed, as was the rest of the world, with the fall off, but I still loved it.
It was still great, yeah.
It was still fantastic, yeah. I mean, the acting was stellar. I love the character buildup. I love anything that's epic. I'm a huge Matrix girl. I know those are movies, but I'm watching The Luminaries right now. That is an amazing show. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
I haven't. Let's check it out.
Oh, I think she froze. We'll see if she comes back. Yeah.
Come back. Interesting.
It's all right.
This is
it's technology.
Every once in a while. I know I had my technology problems on our last podcast.
You mean when you fell? Yeah.
Yeah, when I fell sideways and I froze.
I remember that. Well, yeah, we'll give her a little bit. Oh no!
No, she probably went off then.
She'll probably come back in. Yeah. So, but this has been really cool. You know, mythology's been a big thing for me too. I think I brought that up when we talked to Don. You know, mythology is just, I mean, it's the basis of story. So, you know, for me, it's amazing. So it's so cool to hear, you know, JP talk about, you know, her love for mythology and how she bases things around the actual myth and not try to like grab things and smash them together. Oh, hey.
Hello.
Oh, we see you, but we can't hear you.
Yeah, turn on your volume.
Got you.
There we go.
Sorry,
welcome back.
It's very windy up here. It might be affecting the connection. I'm not sure. There's like a windstorm going on outside.
No worries.
You're perfectly fine. We're on a podcast the other night, and mine froze sideways. Looked like I fell over, and it gave the other guys the
poor Eddie. Yeah, his thing just froze. And we were like, Eddie, where'd you go? And then we just started like, did he fall? Is he okay? And
yeah,
and when he watched it yesterday, he was like, "Oh,
yeah." I laughed through the whole entire thing. It's so funny.
So no, you're fine. Don't worry.
You're perfectly fine. It happens. Okay.
Should I continue my answer?
Oh yes, please.
Go ahead. Go. Yes.
I forget what I was saying. I think I was also saying The Luminaries. That was a show I just started watching that I love. Ooh, and Killing Eve. Oh, it's so good.
Killing Eve.
Have you guys ever seen Killing Eve?
No,
I've only seen the commercials.
That's some serious character development. It is such a good show. I'm locked in. Can't stop.
I gotta check out both of
Violent
those.
for me, but it's so good.
Yeah, I'm a huge binger, so I love watching binging on a show all at once. I love
Me
that.
too. For sure.
I understand you have some interesting stories with
I do.
Ebass and Don Retigue. How you first met?
Oh, well, Dawn, I've known Dawn my whole life. We knew each other when we were kids. Our parents both worked overseas in a volunteer organization, and my parents were in the military. So we grew up overseas, and I've always known her. I've always loved her art. So when I called her initially to help me, she was like, oh, yes, and I know all these other people you can ask. And so I was like, okay. She had a lot of faith in my ideas, sweet Dawn. Even though she didn't have a lot of faith in herself, she thought she was the worst artist ever. But
And she's fantastic.
I know. She's like going to quit art because she thought she was bad. She was going to help in like PR. I was like, no, Dawn.
Oh,
No, you're not gonna do that.
That's my world. Don't do that.
She helped me find everybody who worked with Rothick. She told me all about Scott Campbell. I did know his work from Gen 13 and Danger Girl and stuff like that I read on my own. But she was like, oh, we have to ask him. She told me about Eric. She told me about everybody. Ali Garza. I didn't honestly, I love all these boys, so I hope no one gets mad at me. But I didn't actually know who everyone was like that well. So I wasn't like quite as starstruck as she was. So it was easier for me to ask them because it didn't really, now I realize that I was totally out of line, just walking up to them and demanding they help me. But it worked back then. And we also didn't know how much comics were supposed to be sold for. And I think that's worth mentioning something because we sold them for $20. Because we had no idea that they were supposed to be sold for $3.99. And I think had it not been for that slight error that no one bothered to correct us, everyone just gave us the $20. I think we were like, well, it took a lot of work, so let's charge this. I don't think we really even thought about it. And I think if it wasn't for that, we might not have made it, because even if you're selling thousands and thousands of copies at comic prices, you're making a couple cents a book. So it's very hard to keep your company afloat that way. And I think had it not been for our raised price point, we might not have even made it. And then Dawn forced me to get Eric. It was actually a funny story. She had told me like the day before, I went to Long Beach Con. She's like, look at this guy, Ebass. His work is so amazing. I think he's the best. You have to go get him. Like, all right, I'll go find him. Thinking, sometime that year, hopefully I'll run into him at a con. And I was at Long Beach Comic-Con the next day, and they were doing an interview with me. And they were like, oh, it's so nice. We have JP Roth right here, and Ebass is right there. And I'm like, you can actually see me do this in the interview. I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to talk to him. And I just run away from the interview. I just leave the interview to run over and talk to him. They actually moved the camera to film me running to him. It was really funny. I had real tunnel vision. I was like, oh, Dawn told me I have to meet him. And I just ran away. So that was actually funny. But he took us with him everywhere. It was my cousin Linda, who's an amazing actress. She's in Dynasty and Designated Survivor 3. She's an amazing actress. She's the Latina girl in Designated Survivor. It's my cousin Linda. And she, it was her, my sister, Dawn, Sabine, and Mike. And we just had no idea what we were doing, but we just did our best. I mean, we rolled up our prints and we didn't know what to do. We didn't know how to sell prints so that they were supposed to be flat. We called them posters and rolled them up and tied them with a ribbon. I mean, we were really bad.
At that time, did you guys have a booth at the Long Beach Comic Con? Or were you just there as guests?
I didn't have a booth at Long Beach. We were actually just there doing promotion. The Anaheim guys had seen my work at Comic-Con, and they told me, oh, we have a booth right across from J. Scott Campbell. If you guys want to take it, it's open. It was a corner booth. It was amazing. And we were just there basically poaching off his line all weekend.
Oh, cool.
because his line went right across our booth.
It always does. He has
Yeah.
a huge line every time. Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, we drew a big crowd in that area. It was packed out. You couldn't even walk through that section. We sold out of, I think we brought 1,500 books with us. And I think we worked for about 12 hours total because Dawn had her brand new baby and just even getting set up was crazy. And we went through about 1,200 of those 1,500 books. And actually, before I even made it home, we had sold most of them online. It was so funny. We didn't even know how to ship comic books or anything. Our first comic book was an envelope.
Yeah.
Just like a mailing envelope and shipped it. And
Oh.
people were taking photos and videos of their torn comic. And I was just like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah,
I really
they keep it killing
figured this out.
Yeah.
It was definitely difficult, but we did it. Hey, it was determination.
Hey, and it's all a learning process, you know?
Part of the story now.
Right.
Now. No, it's all right.
Now, you did mention something, and I just want to bring it up again. So Ancient Dreams has sold, like you said, millions of copies. How does that feel to reach that? Like, you sold millions of copies of this comic. How does that make you feel?
I mean, it feels pretty amazing. It's a little different than selling millions of books because the rewards are not financially are not quite the same. It's
Right.
quite a lot to make a comic, especially the way I do it. But it's definitely, to me, it just shows what an incredible team of people that work on these comics, on Rothic Comics, that have been with us from the very beginning. It's never changed. It's the same 4 people that have just kicked ass all throughout. That's Don McTeague, Mike Crome, Sabine Rich, and Stefan Murier. He's my designer, and he does all the lettering, and he is incredible. So between the 4 of them, they're literally the dream team. We've never had a book that the 4 of them have worked on that hasn't gone well. And then, of course, when you add Ebas to the mix and J. Scott Campbell and Ali Garza, it really helped. And it feels wonderful, but it's not me. I'm glad that they loved my stories enough to do such beautiful artwork, because if it wasn't for them, my stories, I'm sure, would have just kept getting stuck into TV series and stuff like they had before, and, you know, no name for me, and I carry on living my life. But they really brought it to life. Like,
It's such
this
an incredible
art
team.
for my main girl, like, now everyone knows what Kara looks like if you read this series, and they gave her such an iconic look. Dawn's art is just so, it's just so gorgeous, you know. They put so much into it, and they've come such a far way. They were always amazing, but the amount of time and study that Dawn and Mike and Sabine has put in over the past few years has just been incredible, extraordinary. They dedicated themselves. It's all them. I'm so grateful.
Is so visual. Your writing is so visual that it must be easy for Dawn to take that and just create something so magical with her artwork.
I hope so. Thank you. That's so
I
sweet.
understand that you two are working on Divinica right now,
We are.
and that's a project that you guys are both hand in hand working with as a team.
Yeah. Yeah, we wanted to do something that was both of ours. It started out like all things do with a totally different idea, and then kind of grew organically through it. It was originally just going to be a calendar art book. I'm actually sold out. Otherwise I would be showing it right now, but I have none. It was going to be just like a calendar with poems about the goddesses and stuff like that. And it kind of just morphed into more. We had a storyline idea going the whole way through, and we realized there was a certain way we had to do it to kind of give it the boom we wanted. It's very much morphed. We did know we wanted to draw it by hand. The way Dawn and I work is I just write a paragraph, and then she gets her ideas and she draws off of it, and then I write more, and then she draws more, and then I write more, and it's kind of built together. For the new Divinica, all the last 4 Divinicas have been leading up to issue 5 and 6, which are not a culmination, but an explanation of what we've been doing so far and why we've been seeing these different goddesses. Without giving away the farm, it is, a world is broken. The world is broken. It's void of life and light. Everything's at war. Everything is darkness because things are missing from the world that should be there. So the story of Divinica is she must travel to all these other times and return an artifact from one of the goddesses to save her broken world. Like each artifact she brings back will change something in the earth until, well, that's where I'll stop. There's a big ta-da at the end once we go through all 12 goddesses, but it's about healing, and it's about love and peace and growth and what the world would be without those things, in the absence of those things. So it was very fun creating such a broken world. I know it sounds terrible, but it was amazing just kind of making up our own thing, like starting from scratch. I had some guys at SpaceX help me as well with, I'm not allowed to say who, I wish I could because they're amazing. They've been buying my work for years. But they helped me with what would happen if the Earth's core cooled and if the moon moved away or came closer. So we were able to really balance some colors off of what they told me would be. Yeah. So it's pretty true to form. We went a little heavy on the purple, but that's all Dawn's fault. We gave it a very, it would have a very earthy kind of everything is on fire feeling. And slowly but surely she has to figure it out in her own. And while she's figuring it out, she will spend time in the lives of these other goddesses. And I do have a theme that is running through. I do have a moral, but I can't say it or it'll give it away. But it is leading towards somewhere. So far the response to Divinica has been insane. I think one of my best. One of my best for sure. All the books are so different that it's interesting to see who likes what. You know, I have kind of something for everybody, I hope. And I think Divinica is everything for everybody. I hope everybody can find something in that series that they love. And we're going to go through the goddesses from all pantheons of mythology, where we go from Greece to Ethiopia to India to Native American. We're going to jump all through time in a world with no time, because time is broken. So it's interesting. It's fun.
That's
challenging.
Awesome. Yeah. Dawn was talking about this and it just blew me away. I'm a big mythology person. I've been huge on mythology since like the 4th grade. So when she told me about the book, I was like, wow, this sounds perfect. So I know you're working on Divinica right now. What other projects, comics, novels, what else are you working on at the moment that we could be looking forward to in the near future?
Well, Ancient Dreams just launched. You can get it everywhere. I'm finally at Barnes & Noble with my own novel.
Oh, cool.
Really good.
Congrats.
Definitely going to pick me up.
Buy it anywhere. Amazon, Kindle, Nook. The series was actually based off of the novel. So there's a few adaptations, but for the most part, it follows it pretty steady. Just for everyone who watches this, because I have heard it a little reflected in the reviews, it is definitely a book 1. I did not end it there. Hello. There's definitely more coming. People are like, that was the worst ending. But it's not the end. She's dead. How do you think it's the end? So it's definitely a trilogy. Book 2 is finished. It's finished being edited right now. It's longer, it has a lot more to it, and then I'm actually right in the middle of book 3, and so that's what I'm working on as far as the novel, the trilogy for Ancient Dreams. That should be done definitely this year. I have
Does
a
that
book
also have graphics in it? Does your novel
no, this is just a straight novel. Yeah, I wanted some graphics, maybe with another like edition of it. I would love to have the novel and some of the art kind of mixed together. That's always been a bit of my dream, but I had to get it into Barnes and Nobles traditionally first.
But like I said, your writing is so visual that you can imagine.
Thank you. It's with Black Rose Writing. They're a wonderful Texas publishing house. They've done amazing things with the book. I am represented by Stephanie Hansen at Metamorphosis Literary Agency, who's also an awesome author herself. She's really been helping me get all my stories in order. I have a book called Red Velvet, which is releasing in the fall with Melange Publishing. That is a totally different story and not a comic series at all. All my stories have a little bit of magic in them. They all have something to do with the supernatural. I really tried not to with this book, but I still ended up. It's about Marie Antoinette's missing daughter. that to save her life, the gypsies change her and her brother, Louis XVI, into their spirit animal and hide them. And it's her, the moment she opens her eyes, back as a human girl after being an owl for 15 years under a gypsy spell. So that's a love story, and that is coming out with Melange Publishing in the fall. And I'm working on a new book right now called Tethered. It's the love story between a fairy and a cowboy, and it is not as dorky as it sounds. It's quite cool. She's actually a prostitute in the Western times. She can create a tether she creates a tether where she can make a reflective self and that the men can touch and have. And while they're touching and having, she can drink from them, and she drinks souls to stay alive. It's a love story, and it's very fun.
Oh.
It's my naughtiest book I've ever written to date. But it is, I actually on Spotify, you can go to Rothic Ramblings, which is my podcast, and I do a lot of live readings of the book Tethered. I think we're up to chapter 5 on that, so it's today. So we're busy. I don't know.
That'd be awesome to read.
Absolutely. Well, I would like to thank JP Roth again for being a guest. It's been so awesome to talk to you, to learn about your projects, how you got started. Now, you talked about where people can find your work. What's your website? Where can people go to find you online?
My website is rothic.com. That's
easy.
R-O-T-H-I-C, rothic.com. That's easy. Everybody calls them Rothic novels, so rothic.com. You can find Ancient Dreams, the novel, on every platform. Nook, Kindle, Google Play Books, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Goodreads, anywhere you want to read it. And you can also, my Instagram is JP Rothic, and my Facebook is JP Rothic.
Well, there you go, guys. Make sure you go and follow JP Roth. Stay up to date on her projects. And it sounds like she has a lot of great things coming out this year, so that's fantastic. Yeah. We do have a few giveaways today. First, we are in the high desert. We are Pastrami Nation. So we have a Pastrami Nation combo to give away from Apollo Burger. Apollo Burger is located in Victorville, and they named this sandwich after our website, and which I thought was so awesome. Yeah, it's this massive thing. It's like grilled cheese buns, pastrami, chili, cheese, mustard, everything. It's it's amazing. So somebody will win. Somebody will win that, and then JP Roth actually has something she's giving away as well.
I do. I have a starter set for Rothic. One moment, so sorry. I have one of each, except for Dominica, which I'm sold out of. This is my Theory of Magic series, done by Sabine Rich. This is also a hand-painted, for the most part, series. It is the most gorgeous artwork. It's about fairies. It's fairy lore. It's my actual Theory of Magic. I have Southern Nightgown, issue 1, the beautiful connecting set with J. Scott Campbell. And
that is so awesome. I love that.
So that'll give you, this is Celtic mythology. It actually goes through about 12 different pantheons of mythology. It has a lot of interesting, it even goes through Norse and everything like that. Midgard, Asgard, all the guards are in this one.
Oh, cool.
And then I have Ancient Dreams, issue 1, and Ancient Dreams, issue 2, that apparently I'm giving away. So that's this. And then that's the Greek mythology series. And then I have Remate. This is Eric Basaldua's cover.
Very nice.
This is drawn by Don McTeague and Sabine. This is about geisha lore. This is Japanese mythology. I grew up in Japan, so I love this series. So all 4 of these, and I will sign them and ship with love to whoever wins.
So look
to
at
the lucky
that.
winner.
That is so
All you have to do is
awesome.
leave a comment. Leave a comment on YouTube. Just leave a comment, and we raffle off two prizes.
Yep, and you have until Sunday.
This is a limited edition, by the way. This is 1 in 100.
Oh, so guys, you could win those amazing books from JP Roth or the Pastrami Nation combo just by dropping a comment. That's all you have to do. You have until the 14th leave a comment. It ends at 5:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will do
Can I
a
cut
random
myself
drawing.
out of this interview?
You cannot win, Eddie. I'm sorry. You cannot. But that, I mean, somebody's going to be extremely thrilled to get those because, I mean, it's such awesome
I'll send
work
you
from
guys
everybody.
some special presents for you too for being
Oh,
so
see,
sweet.
look at that. That's
I
so
have
awesome.
this
Thank you so much.
very beautiful limited edition EDAS Ancient Dreams gorgeous connecting set. So I can send
Awesome.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're so
Well,
awesome.
again, we want to thank you for being on here.
Thank you.
It's just awesome to learn about your work. Make sure you guys go follow JP Roth on social media. Visit her, rothic.com. Make sure you visit pastramination.com. Movie reviews, articles, podcasts, all that fun stuff. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. We're on Pinterest.
Yes.
So,
Movie.
you on Pinterest too?
Yeah,
Oh,
JP.
there we go. There you go, guys. So now you need to find both
Platform.
Pastrami Nation and JP Rothic on Pinterest.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, JP. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you
I
for
had a
having me.
wonderful
You guys
time.
are amazing.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much. And for everybody tuning in, thank you for watching. And we will see you next time. Take care.
Take care. Bye.